Hey guys, Joe at Small Home Off-Grid Prepping. Welcome to the channel. So today we're going to be comparing solar and a generator. I broke my generator out like I told you guys in the last video I was going to, and we're going to fire it up. Hurricane season is here, so I want to make sure everything is running good. I would usually start it every couple months or so, keep it running. I've actually never even really used it yet, so we're going to check the well too. I'm going to see how it runs the well. The well is about 300 feet away, and I did try this after I made the last video here. This is enough to run the well, just not at 300 feet away. So in all reality, what I would have to do if a emergency situation hit and the generator wasn't working and I had to use this for the well, I would literally have to take this and bring the battery bank down to the well, closer to the well. There's a few power points in between here and the well. There's one that's probably about 130 feet away, so I'll try that one first, and that one should work actually. So like I said, at 300 feet this didn't start the well, but again, I know closer to the well it would. There's no problem because the wattage is correct. I've run this on a 5,000 watt generator, 5,000 peak before. So but mine, like I said, we're going to connect the generator, we're going to check a bunch of voltages, see how the well works on the generator from this distance here. But again, my worst case scenario is I just need to bring these things a little bit closer to the well. But before we get into that, if you guys notice on the comment section here, we had a couple comments, and Matthew was commenting about, you know, why'd I use a low frequency? I don't have a lot of huge loads and anything like that, and he's completely correct. I don't have a lot of big loads here. Low frequency are made for very, very heavy startup loads. As you see here, which I showed you guys before, this one here, where is it? Right over here, will go to 24,000 watts. That is a split second, and a lot of times if you're starting a big motor, like on an air conditioner, well pump, you know, that's literally that big, this will give you that for a split second. But again, like I told you guys last time, the battery bank has to match. You won't get 24,000 volts, or watts I mean, out of a power inverter, no matter how much it puts out, if you can't supply that amount of power. And as you see here, my solar right now, I've actually been running this since 7:30 this morning here. It's around 12:30 now, so it's been running about 4 or 5 hours here. We're putting out, we'll check on the batteries here, but we're putting out probably around 36, 37. I turned it on at 7:30 this morning. At 7:30, the sun's just coming up over the trees. These are completely in the shade. There is no sun hitting the panels whatsoever, so I was running mostly on the batteries between 7:30 and about 9:30. But it's the first time I checked that. I wanted to check that to see when I ran my batteries down for a couple hours how fast they would charge back up, and they're charging pretty darn quick here. So, but yeah, the thing is, like I said, I use this. I mean, you see the size of the transformer in this thing. These things are just, they're huge. They're heavy duty. They're a beast. Okay, and whether you use these for heavy loads or light loads, if you just take care of these things, you guys have heard me say my rule of thumb is 1/3. This is 3,000 watts continuous. I'm usually not putting much more than 1,000 watts. In fact, a lot of times not even 1,000 watts. I would not run this thing at peak if I had to. I mean, most I'd really go is half on this thing here. It will last you a lot longer, and they will be more dependable, but also you're increasing your efficiency. It's one of the things that Matthew commented on, is these things historically are quite a bit less efficient than the high frequency inverters. The high frequency inverters, though, I found simply just don't last as long, because a lot of people are putting heavier loads on them, and they're just not made for that, but where these things are. The thing is, though, there's been a lot of technology changes here. These inverters, like I said before, if you guys haven't seen it, we actually carry these. I was so impressed with this inverter here. I run it for a couple months. We actually carry these on our a few of our e-commerce stores, but right now our Etsy store is the most set up, so we're really directing people towards the Etsy store. I'll include a link down on the bottom here. But yeah, this thing here, from the factory, the rating is 90 to 94% efficient, which is good. That's a good efficiency. The thing is, though, running this thing on a light load, I've done my own calculations using the meter, you know, and checking my draws and all that, and I'm getting pretty close to 98% efficiency out of this thing. Your efficiency is going to really be based on a lot of different things. One is, the load is a big thing, because the more load you put on this thing, the hotter it's going to get. The hotter it gets, the less efficiency you guys have on these things. So I run this thing on such a light load, it almost never, you know, doesn't heat up. The fan almost never kicks on. If I'm only running everything in the house, refrigerator, lights, TV, everything, but not the air conditioner, or the air conditioner happens to be, you know, shut down because the house temperature, you know, hit its desired temperature, then, like I said, that fan never comes on. But when the AC comes on, you know, then the fan does come on. So the other thing he commented on is the idle. When this thing's not being used, it does consume electric. So let's turn this off real quick here, and let me show you what the actual idle is on this thing here. Okay, so yeah, you guys see we turn this off here, and that's what the idle is here. So this thing is in standby right now, and you know, it's memory's holding in, and you're pulling not even 1/10 of an amp. Okay, 0.01. So it's not even. So this thing on standby and idle is barely using anything. So there's a lot of different technology that's come out with these things here. That's, you know, like I said, they were known for having bad efficiency, which this one has great 90 to 94% out of the factory. But if you put a lighter load on, like I said, I'm getting 98%. So yeah, like I said, guys, there's been a lot of changes in these things over the years. You know, to me, this thing is just great. And I'll tell you another great feature, not on the 6000 here, but the 8000. You don't even need solar panels, okay? As an emergency backup power, you can build yourself a battery bank just like this one over here. This is 6060 watts, okay? And you do your calculations, figure out how long you want it to last. You want 10 hours of power if a storm comes through, whatever. But they have a built-in battery charger. So all you do is you keep them plugged in when you have your regular power on and all that. So then your power goes off, and you just flip this thing on. That's it. You just, you know, turn the switch on here, and you have your power connected to it. That's it. The 6000 watt, if you don't want to spend the money to get into the 8000, you can still do the same with the 6000. I haven't. My solar charges plenty, but you just use a regular battery charger like that. You keep that plugged in, and these battery chargers, even the external ones, not the ones built in, will, when it's fully charged, will shut it down and maintain it just like your solar does. So you don't even have to have solar to have one of these as an emergency power backup. Like I said, you can keep your batteries charged at all times, and they're great for people in areas like, I don't know, townhouses, apartments, places where you really can't run a generator. You know, you can keep this set up. They do make batteries that can be charged indoors. You'll have to talk to the person you're getting your batteries from, your battery supplier, and find out which ones are safe to charge indoors if you're doing something like that. But even so, like I said, you don't even have to have solar to have this as an emergency backup. It's a lot easier than a generator. You're going to get the same power out of these things if you size them up right, and you don't have to worry about gas. You don't have to worry about oil, maintenance, all the noise going on. You run this thing all night long, you know, go to sleep at night, don't have a generator running. And I'll tell you a quick funny story. Like, you guys know, I'm a master electrician, and not that long ago I was a branch manager for a well, the largest electrical company in the U.S. Was in this division over here. But anyways, a hurricane came through a couple years ago, and we actually had 3 customers that left the generators out running at night. They thought they were safe there in the backyard, and people came in the middle of the night with old junky lawnmowers that they picked up that barely ran, and they had pulled the lawnmower up when it was running, so the people still heard the noise while they were lying in bed, turned off the generator and stole the generators, and the people listened to a lawnmower running all night. So this is, even, like I said, safer. You don't have to worry about it. You can keep it more secured. You can keep it locked up in your garage, whatever, because it's not going to emit carbon monoxide like a generator would. So like I said, guys, we'll include the Etsy, you know, the link to our Etsy store for this. But for what I want to do right now, okay, we're going to run through some calculations, and I'm going to get to the generator and fire that thing up and then check some voltages between the different ones. But I'm going to go turn everything off in the box, our breaker box, except for the AC. I want to see what the AC by itself is pulling. So give me a minute. We'll be right back. Alright, so I got everything turned off right now. You see the main breaker's turned off, the generator or solar breaker's turned off over here. So again, with the interlock, we're just going to push that up and then push that on, and the solar is back on right now. So now we're just going to turn off all the breakers here. Yeah. Surge protector. Alright, so you guys notice that one didn't trip when I hit the button. The breaker's fine, it's not connected. I'm actually not even using that one. But let's turn the air back on. Turn the air off. This is the surge protector right here. I guess I'll turn that off real quick so we're getting an accurate reading here. So let's go back to the inverter and let's see exactly what everything's pulling. Okay, so the AC unit right now is pulling 4.92 amps. We're going to give it a minute. It's going to kick in. The compressor's on time delay right now. The fans are kicking in and all that, but this is going to come up. So I'm going to pause here for a minute, and then I'll get back with you guys when it comes back up. Okay, so yep, you see we kicked in here, and this is what's considered start on these things here. Let me change the scale. Okay. So yeah, that's what's considered start, and it'll eventually start coming back down a little bit here. I did put this, it's kicked in on high speed right now, so it might not come down too much. As it reaches a desired temperature, these inverter units here, what it'll do is it'll slow down and maintain the temperature inside of the house, and that's when this will drop down to about 30. So right now this is kicked in at full, so this is going to be our maximum that this is running here, and like I said, it will start to come down, but right now I set it at 77 in the house. I did have it turned up to 79, So this is going to run for a little bit to take out that 2 degrees here. So, but this is pretty stable. So we got at 12 volts, let's just call that 64. Yeah. Well, we're still going up a little bit here. Alright, so this is going to be about 65. Alright, so let's check the other side and see if this is pulling. Okay, so the air conditioner itself right now is on high again. It's pulling 2.2 amps on the AC side. So, and then if you do the calculations, guys, you can figure out what the wattage is. And like I said, you check these numbers here, do the wattage, figure all that out, and you'll find out what the efficiency is on this. And just off the top of my head, looking at it without breaking anything down and figuring it, I know this is well over 94. Might not be 98. No, it's going to be close. But anyways, that's how you break it down. You do your load calculations and you know the efficiency. So like I said, these are 90 to 94% efficient. So let's go get over to the generator and the connections and the box and all stuff like that. Okay, so you guys know this is the solar connection. We've gone through this in the other videos. If you haven't seen them, then we'll include it as the in the end of this. Just click on the thumbnail and you guys can watch the videos here. But all we're going to do with this here is take this cord and unplug it. Just like that here, okay? Now, you guys see here what this plug looks like right over here, okay? So now let's walk back to the generator over here. Okay, you guys remember this. It's been a while since, I think it's close to last year since I broke this thing out and showed you, but again, this plug right over here, okay, it's the same as what the other one was. So that's what I was saying, all right? I put that plug in, and it doesn't matter if it's the generator or it's the solar, this is how it plugs into that receptacle out there. So let's plug this in real quick, like so. And that's it. Turn this on, and you got to put the choke on over here. Choke on, and let's fire up. Oh, hold on, let's put the gas on first. It helps. Okay, let's try that again. Alright, so I'm going to open up the panel now. We're going to get different readings on all this. Alright, so you hear the generator running. Right now we're running on generator power. I've unplugged the solar, plugged it into the generator. And let's see what we got going here. Okay, so our generator, you guys can see this here, is putting out 241.1. Okay, that's coming off of the generator over here, alright? Now let's check the main. Keep in mind this is turned off over here, but you still have power coming in over here and here. Right there. So this is utility power company coming in right now. So from the power company, we're pulling 243, right around 243 in that area. All right. So yeah, that's how the generator gets powered up. So I'm going to put the well on. This works a little bit different here, so I'm going to put you guys down for a second, and then we'll check some solar voltage amperages. But let's see real quick here what the AC unit was doing on amperage. Okay, 0.24. Reason being is I turned this off again, and now we're back in time delay. So give it a minute, let it kick in, and we'll see what this thing is doing here. But you know, generator and solar to me is really the way to go. If you don't have enough solar, you can still use the generator periodically to charge up your batteries, so you can still run most of the time on your batteries. If your solar's not putting out, you know, 100% to where you're 24 hours a day, then just make up the difference with your generator compared to running the generator all the time. But like I said, my big thing for the generator was the well pump, because I knew no matter how big a solar I put in at 300 feet away, it's going to be hard. And generator's the same thing. You're not putting out different kind of currents or anything like that. The difference is it's a lot easier for me to bring the generator down to the well pump than it is to bring the solar. So let's see what the well is doing here. So I'm gonna put you guys down for a second. Alright guys, so you guys know that this is a sub panel over here, and this has been turned off now. This is all dead. I can touch this over here. The well is in the other sub panel. That sub panel feeds this panel, okay, not necessary for an interlock. If I were to actually have that on, I can't have these two on at the same time. That's impossible. But if I ever did, it would damage my solar. It wouldn't really backfeed the power lines or anything like that. So that is off. So now we're going to backfeed that panel over there where the well is. Okay, so let's see exactly what these are pulling up here. Let's come down here. We can get it over here. Alright, this is a little hard to put on here, but as you guys see here, so this is what's being pulled off of the other panel right now over here. And these, we can turn all these back on. Alright, so we got everything pretty well back on here, so I'm going to hook up the hose. We still don't have anything pulling out. I'm going to hook up the hose, let the well pump kick in and see how this does. I haven't done this before, so like I said, I don't even know if it's going to work. I might have to bring the generator closer to the panel I actually just turned off. This is about 120 feet away from that panel, oh maybe a little bit more, but like I said, that panel itself is probably 120 feet, so this is probably about 180 feet or so away. But it would most likely work from that panel, so let's put that on and let's see what that's doing. Alright, so I walked to the other side of the house here. This is where the garden is, and I showed you guys the garden in the last video. I mean, look at that. It's even bigger than it was last time. But now let's run the pump. It's pressurized, so it's not going to kick in right now. But you guys will know when it kicks in. You'll hear that generator bog down. So let's just give it a couple minutes here. It's got a big pump in it, the big pressure switch. It maintains 70 to 100, so I'm probably closer to 100 now, so it's going to have to drop by about 30 before this kicks in. So I think I'll cut this off for a second here. Actually, we can just the same thing when I ran the solar with the inverter. This thing probably ran close to 5 minutes here before it actually kicked in. And that, like I said, that just bogged down. The alarm came on. It did try to kick in and out a couple times to start it. It was actually pretty close. If the distance was closer, it would have had no problem. But the generator, like I said, I haven't tried this yet. Again, my worst case is I just need to bring these things closer. I also have the 16 kW generator if I ever needed to. That'll run on propane or natural gas. This one's a dual. This one's on gasoline or propane. So I got all three gases covered. Okay, so the well pump just kicked in, and it is pulling 10.9 amps, and it's working perfect on the generator. Barely bogged it down. So yeah, at this distance, the generator is doing fine with this thing here. Down to 9.96. The start was very quick. The thing is, I had run the solar down a little bit. If it was fully charged, the batteries, they weren't fully charged, so that was probably part of the problem as well. I think I'll try it again when the batteries are fully charged and the peak of the sun and stuff like that, and it might have no problem kicking that in. But it was later down in the evening. I'd been running the solar all day. My wife and I were in the pool for a couple hours, so I didn't bother to turn it off when the sun went down, so it was running on the batteries. So yeah, you see the pump just kicked off. It ran in and kicked off. So yeah, generator's working perfect for the well pump, for everything here. So let's turn the gas back off. Alright, so you guys see everything's dead in the panel again. We got the generator turned off. Even though the main breaker's on here, the power that feeds this is turned off. That's the panel I was just backfeeding for the well. So, yeah, this is all good here. So let's turn this back off here, and we'll go turn the well back on real quick. Alright, so, yep, like I said, guys, my connection's generator or solar, so I'll show you again real quick here, which I know I've showed you, but all we do now is we unplug the generator, just like so, and we go back to the panel. Yeah, so this is the same identical over here. So we just plug this in over here. Give it a little tiny twist. There's a twist lock. They're just locking a little bit there. And that's it. This is the same exact connection that's on the generator that's now connected to my solar power inverter. So powers up the whole house. So let's go turn it back on. Okay, so solar's back on. So let's see what we got for power over here now. So remember, we had what, 241 with the generator, 243 from the utility company, and this one will read about 230, somewhere in that area over here. Okay, yep, pretty close to 230, 229. So yeah, that's all perfect. In America, 230, 240, 220, these are all considered normal voltages, and you also have a plus or minus 10%. All of my appliances here, I don't have anything that's 240 or 120. Everything I have, again, I've told you guys, is 115 or 230, so it actually works out perfect for me. But the 8000 has adjustable voltage. If there's any reason that you need a true 240, that's great, because you can adjust those things to either be 220, 230, 240, 110, 115, 120. You know, for your split phase, just works out completely perfect. So like I said, guys, in my case, what I recommend to you guys is both a generator and an inverter. Like I said, I like the idea of the battery chargers built right into the inverter, so if you're not getting enough solar, it's cloudy days, whatever, you still have your battery bank, and instead of running a generator all the time, if you do have a generator like I do, you can use that to charge the batteries up. As long as it's plugged in, the inverter, like I said, stays plugged in, and you guys have charges up your batteries, so if the power is out and you run your batteries down, now you just plug it into the generator like it's plugged into the wall socket on your house. So that's it, guys. Like I said, this stuff is really cool. It's pretty simple here. We're going to be getting into a few more things here that I'm going to be covering when it comes to solar and stuff like that. I am going to put in a GFI receptacle on the solar here, which I'll film for you guys and show you. I want to connect it to my pool pump and run my pool pump strictly on the solar, and you know, not have to worry about running on the electric or anything like that. So like I said, you guys like what you see in here, like, subscribe, hit the notification buttons. We have a lot more stuff coming out here, and I will include the link to our Etsy, so you guys can see. Like I said, we have a lot of different inverters. I mean, they actually go up to, I'm not sure if we put them all on the Etsy site yet, but they go up to 30,000 watts, 15,000 continuous. You know, if you want to build a battery bank and you want to build your solar up for all that, your off-grid solar, then, you know, perfect. I have a 6,000, 3,000 continuous, 8,000 is the next one, then you have a 10,000, there's a 12,000, 15,000. So like I said, guys, I'll include the link to our Etsy site, and check it out. All right, guys, we'll see you on the next one.